Hey my friend, in this video I want to talk a little bit about the science behind manifestation and prayer. I also want to share with you why I mostly attracted the opposite of what I wanted to manifest or what I was praying for. So some people may say manifestation and prayer, it's a different thing, but it's just a different term because science, they use more the term of manifestation, and prayer is more a spiritual, more a religious term, but it's the same thing. For many years, science and spirituality, they couldn't go along with each other because science was mostly neglecting everything they couldn't see, touch, or measure. And yeah, so I grew up, for example, as a Christian, and that's why I talk sometimes about the Bible. I think there's a lot of truth in the Bible, and I really like the Bible. I'm not a religious person, but I believe in God and in many scriptures like the Bible and in Vedic texts, in Buddhism, Hinduism, there is a lot of truth in it, and it's just different cultures using different terms for God. And now the interesting part is also science is interested of what is going on in our body and around our body when we are manifesting or praying, and they try to measure it. And since science studies all these topics, it brought everything together for me. Now everything makes a lot more sense to me, and it helped my ego to understand and to implement these philosophies and into my life to improve my life. It helped me to cure health disease and also to get rid of alcohol and drug addiction. So I had a hard time to work just with the Bible and with Buddhism. And I also had a hard time to work just with science. So, and now they both come together, and it's really beautiful. I love to talk about it. It truly changed my life. And so I try to keep it as short as possible. I will make more videos about it. Please write some comments if you're interested in this topic. And yeah, so let's start. Science. Science can measure, or what science can see what's happening when we pray or manifest is that our brain sends out an electrical signal. Our brain sends an electrical signal to our heart, and our heart creates an electromagnetic field around our body. So this electromagnetic field attracts similar energies and frequencies, people and situations. And this is why it's so important to understand the right way to manifest or the right way to pray, because there, from my experience, there is a right and a wrong, because I did it unconsciously the right way. I prayed in a negative way. It had negative effects on me. I could see them, I could feel them, and I was suffering because of them. And also with manifestation, it's the same thing, like I said, and it always worked out like totally different. It always was like the opposite of what I wanted. So if we are really worried, if we are really scared, and if we are really stressed and if we think negative thoughts, these thoughts are translated into an electrical signal which goes to the heart. And like I said, the heart creates an electromagnetical field with a specific signal, with a specific frequency, with a low vibrational frequency, and attracts similar things, um, people and situations. And for example, I grew up with a lot of stress, a lot of fear, and a lot of pressure. I was constantly worried, and that's why I was sending out the signal. And he God is helping us. God is supporting us in every thought we have. Maybe some people don't want to hear that, but God is just supporting us. He supports whatever thought you have. And it's also in the Bible. There are, I don't know in which book, but somewhere in the Bible it says, to those who have, I will give more. And from those who don't have, I will take away everything. So that is such a great text because it refers to our state of consciousness, to our limited, to our belief system. If we believe that we are abundant, that we are healthy, that we are wealthy, that we are, then we will attract more of it. But if we have a limiting belief like I'm not enough, I don't have enough, money is hard to make, we will lose the little bit that we have. And it's exactly how it worked in my life every time, without exception. And the Bible also says we should pray as if our prayer is already answered. I always was worrying. I was so stressed when I was really stressed out, when I was in fear, in pain, and in whatever. I was hoping, I was begging, I was screaming and crying to God. And guess what happened? It, I was waiting and waiting and waiting, and mostly I got the opposite. I got more problems, I got more pain, and I was devastated. I was questioning, is there a God, or why he is not helping me? But it was before I understood this text of the Bible and the newest studies of science, what's happening in our brain and in our heart. So if we pray out of fear and stress and we are hoping and begging, there is not a lot of faith in it. So why should God, like I said, he gives us more of what we have inside of us, because he's inside of us and he is constantly supporting us. That's why we have to be so conscious and what we are thinking about and how we feel during the day. If you pray the right way, you ask for something, or for example, you ask for something, but if you finish your prayer, you let go of it, you have faith and you stop worrying. Because how can you have faith when you are still worrying and hoping? So that doesn't go along with each other. And there is a lot of trust and a lot of faith in God, in the universe, or whatever, when we pray the right way, and we are able to self-regulate. We can let go of fear and sorrow if we do it the right way. So it's really, really interesting because science, they can measure it and they can prove quite some things now. Not everything, but many things. For example, we have the left side of the brain and the right side of the brain. The left side of the brain is the masculine side, and the right side is the feminine side. The left side of the brain is home of the sympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is for logical thinking, analytical thinking, fight or flight mode, survival mode, and for action mode. It's the masculine part of us, for both in man and in woman. And the right part of the brain, the includes the parasympathetic nervous system. And the parasympathetic nervous system is home of creativity, of intuition, of restoring the body, of healing. And that's two totally different things. And the problem is that we as a society, we are programmed, we are brainwashed, we are manipulated to be more in our left side of the brain, both man and woman. And I don't want to say feminism is totally bad. I think man and woman should have the equal rights, of course, but man and woman are different. The man is the man and the woman is the woman. They have two different bodies. So, and what I like to say with feminism, it got abused. The topic of feminism got totally abused. Now, women are also like a little bit forced or brainwashed to act more like a man, to work harder, to leave their kids wherever and go to work and use more of the left side of the brain. And like I said, it's part of the survival mode, stress mode, fear, anxiety. It all takes place in our sympathetic nervous system. And that makes us very, very vulnerable as a society. We are more likely to, it's easier to manipulate and to control us if we are in fear, if we are stressed, and if we are more in the left side of the brain. And the problem is, the more we are in the left side of the brain, the more it becomes a habit. And what becomes a habit can become an addiction. And most of us, we are addicted to stress hormones and adrenaline and logical, analytical thinking. So that's where our body gets really, really unhealthy, because there is no synchronicity between left and right brain. So that's the biggest problem. So that's why we mostly pray out of stress, and we mostly manifest out of stress and fear, and we have a hard time to trust and let go. We also have a hard time to sit down and enjoy the present moment and to let our body do his thing. When we sit down and rest in peace in the present moment, our body can do his thing, and the body's thing is to restore, to heal, to do all these great things without us thinking about it. But we get in the way. We get in the way of our right brain hemisphere. We want to be more many people want to heal themselves. Many people, they want be more creative, more intuitive. But it's just possible when we learn to synchronize our two sides of the brains again. And that's why I talk about brain and heart coherence. We have to balance our brain. When we balance our brain, our left and our right brain hemisphere, we can feel these elevated emotions, more of these elevated emotions like joy and happiness, love, and excitement. And that's all very, very healing emotions. So it's also these emotions, they have a very, very high frequency. And when we synchronize our brain and when we imagine something, when we do our when we do our prayer, when we do our manifestation out of a unsynchronized brain, we send out a very, very strong, high vibrational frequency to our heart. And if we do that, our heart creates an even more bigger electromagnetical field, and it attracts. That's when we feel as a unity connected to everything and everyone. That's when we really can feel God's presence inside of us. That's when we attract more of what we love and like: great people, great experiences, great opportunities. And that's where we are in total trust and faith. It's the absence of fear. Fear has no space there. There is no place for fear. Fear is in our left side of the brain if we dive too deep into our left side of the brain and when we are in survival mode. But if we are coherent, if we are in balance with our brain, the left and the right hemisphere, we are in creator mode. We are not in survival mode, we are in creator mode. It's like our God mode. And there is nothing to fear. Even death. Death is an illusion. And we are energy, we have a soul, and there is just one consciousness. So we cannot be destroyed. It's a very, very powerful state. So that's why we have to be so careful with our fears and sorrows and with our worrying. It's not the best state to be in, and we have to ask ourselves if we have faith. When we have truly faith, there is nothing to fear. We can trust and let go of it and rest in the present moment. So that's the state of where miracle happens, where we feel God, where we feel connected with the universe, and it's a very healing and creative state. So I don't want to make it too long. I hope you enjoyed this video. And yeah, if you're still here, thank you so much for spending time with me. If you want to do me a favor, hit the like button, and you also could write me a comment. Maybe you could write the word fate, just the word fate, into the comment section. I would really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and see you in the